Hello there. My name is Dr. Bernard Yeo. I'm the founder of UCMHP Academy. UCMHP stands for Universal Characteristic Method of Human Profiling. While doing my research on character profiling, I discovered and designed a world's first Pythagoras character profiling copyrighted chart to empower everyone to know, understand, and master their strengths and weaknesses. But most importantly, their universal character number, which is inborn, destiny, and nature. So for a quick recap, I want to show you the difference of our UCMHP methodologies compared to the rest of them. So I'm not share with you that I'm the first person who has successfully integrated with the essence of 7 scientifically proven profiling methodologies into one. So what do we use to combine? The first one I'm going to show you is called Pythagoras Character Development Theory. I want you to look at the word character. So we are talking about measurement of character, not just behaviors or personalities. The second integration we have is using neuro-linguistic programming. And this talk about 5 behavioral types and 5 universal communication channels. So we successfully integrate this into our system. The third one we actually have is called Cartel 16PF that we integrate into our system. Now, Cartel 16PF basically talk about personality factors. And then I went on to combine and integrate with MBTI, Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. And again, here they're talking about personality science, not character science. And then I went further to integrate this with Enneagram. Now, Enneagram talks about 9 types of personalities. And again, here they talk about personalities. Now, next, I actually integrate my system together with Ocean 5, which is the same as Big 5 personalities. Again, here is about personalities. And I also combine this with DISC profiling. And DISC profiling, as you know, is also talk about behavioral science. Now, if you know about DISC profiling, you need to answer 24 questions. And after answering 24 questions, 1 year later, if you attempt the same questions, you are likely to see that the profile changes. What is the main reason that it will change? The main reason is actually DISC is talking about behavioral science. So behaviors can change, can be nurtured, whereas character is destiny, inborn, and nature. So nature versus nurture. I want you to pay attention to that. Now, when I integrate all this together, I actually call this UCMHP. UCMHP stands for Universal Characteristic Method of Human Profiling. Again, here we emphasize on the word character. So we actually put this together and we call this the UCMHP 21st Century Breakthrough and Evolutions of Character Profiling. Now I want you to see the word character profiling. It is all about character, right? Besides behaviors and personality. So I also want to share with you that this is actually a Singapore's discovery, right? Singapore's discovery. So after integrating the 7 methodologies into my system, the love values and the interpretation increased significantly. Now, increased significantly, that means to say it is not predictable yet. So I'm going to share with you more. I'm going to share with you the evolutions of numerology in the modern world. Okay, we're going to start off with every one of us. So our character numbers basically have 2 things. The first one is called mathematical science formula. The second thing is called mathematical science frequency. So I want you to look carefully at these two areas, right? Our character have a formula and also a frequency. Now, what is mathematical formula? Mathematical formula is actually talking about our human love values. Our human love values. And our human value consists of something called clarity of the mind. Now, clarity means to say your intent, your focus, your concentrations, and your destinations you are going to. So you must be very clear of who you are. The second thing I want to share with you is that human values consist of something called mission and vision in life. So you need to know what is your vision and mission in life. The third thing we are going to share with you here is called purpose. So what is your character purpose on this planet? So there are two purposes that I want you to know. The first one is called soul, S-O-L-E, soul purpose. The other one is called soul, S-O-U-L, soul purpose on this planet. So you need to know what is a soul and soul purpose so that you'll find that life become very purposeful. But the fact is many people don't even know what is your purpose in life. That's why you find that life is not good, right? A lot of challenges. So you need to know the soul purpose and soul purpose of your life on this planet. The fourth thing I'm going to share with you is about meaning. So every one of us, our character has a meaning on this planet. So you need to know the meaning of you, why you are here. And also you need to know something called choice. What are your choices? Now, when you know your choices, it actually helps you to suppress resistance. When you know your choices, it actually gives you strength. It guides you to the right decisions in life. So I say again, our character have formulas. So you need to know how to harmonize all these formulas. The next thing I want to share with you, our character numbers also have something called mathematical frequency. Mathematical frequency. At this point, I actually like to share with people about this. Why we human beings we have handphone and why our handphone has different frequency. Have you ever think of how come your handphone numbers is different from others? So every handphone has different frequency. Now I want you to also write this down that actually there are 7.7 billion people on this planet. No two persons are alike, including identical twins. So you remember that. Then may I ask you a question? Where does our telephone mathematical frequency come from? It comes from the satellite. So without satellite, there is no frequency. So it is connected to the satellite. Now our handphone, if we go overseas, we need to change the frequency unless we use something called roaming services. Or we change to a SIM card of the phone in other country. So there is such a thing called a chain of frequency if you are in different countries. So the frequency changes. But what about human being? Do we need to change our frequency when we go overseas? Where does our frequency come from? Our human being, our frequency comes from the universe. Every one of us are connected to the universe. How many universes are there? One, only one. That's why we call this a oneness universe. Have you ever think of this? How come wherever you go, in any countries you go into, you are still who you are. You don't need to change your frequency. So now you know why we don't change our frequency. It's because we are connected to the oneness universe. We are still who we are when we move around. Now, I also want to bring up to attention, your handphone has something called battery. What happens if your battery is flat? So you cannot receive information, right? Because your frequency needs something called energy. So energy is from your battery. So if your battery is flat, you need to charge it. But we human beings, we don't need to charge. we are actually connected to our universe. So in human being, the energy in our body is called qi. Now, what is qi? Qi is a synergistic structure called life force. It is a synergistic structure called life force. So if the life force stops, that means we die already. So remember, we have this qi called energy. And energy, whether it's handphone or human being, it must consist of 5 things called vibrations. Resonance is the quality of the sound, magnetic field, rhythm, and waves. So we need these 5 things in the energy system. So with this now is a complete system of human being, the philosophy of who we are. So remember this, nobody look alike, including identical twins. So this is a philosophy of who we are, and this is the evolution of numerology in the modern world. So I discovered this, and I integrate this into a system. And in this system, I found that the most powerful and most important numbers in our life is called our birth date. Many people didn't know that how your birth date play a very important part in making who you are today. So your birth date is the most important and most powerful numbers. Have you ever wondered why aren't you born 10 days before you're born or 10 days after? Or maybe 3 or 4 days before and after? Why aren't you born last year or next year? Why were we born on the day? So everything happens for a reason. So your birth date is there for a good reasons. So your birth date actually has something called a mathematical formula and mathematical frequency. So if you understand this now, I'm going to share with you something more, which is actually your character has 2 things that actually mold or nurture who you are going to be. So there are 2 things you need to know. One of them is called birth date and birth time. So your time of birth also play an important part in your life. Have you ever wondered how come those people born on the same day, same month, and same year as Mr. Bill Gates or maybe Steve Jobs? How come their life is not as good as them? Something that separates them actually is called your time of birth. Your time of birth profiling. Now, time of birth actually can differentiate 2 persons who born on the same day, same month, same year, their character. Now, do you know that your time of birth can actually enhance the quality of your life? It can actually boost the quality of your life down. 1 minute difference can make you a multi-millionaire. 1 minute difference can make you a beggar or bankrupt. So time of birth is very important. So during my research, I found something very interesting. I found that our date of birth is represented by our right thumbprint. And our time of birth actually is represented by our left thumbprint. So what I'm teaching you is how to combine your birth date and the birth time together so that you can have an in-depth insight of who you are. And because numbers don't tell lie, it will tell you your strengths and your weaknesses, your hidden potentials, your behaviors, your personality, and your character instantly. It's very simple, very easy to access, instant, and not only that, it's very predictable. So this is what I found, and I'm going to share with you more. So now I'm going to go to the next slide to show you that when I integrate this, my system together with the 7 scientifically proven methodologies, right? The love values and the interpretation increase tremendously and becomes instantly predictable. I say again, it becomes instantly predictable. Because numbers won't tell lie. 1 is 1, 2 is 2. 2 cannot be 3, 3 cannot be 2. 1 plus 2 must be equal to 3 and not 4. So because numbers are so powerful, you need to know what it represents. So when integrate with 7 scientifically proven methodologies into the system, right, what happened is we found that the value increased tremendously and become very instantly predictable. Now, I'm going to share with you how to draw the UCMHP profiling chart. So I want you now to take up a pen or pencil and a piece of paper. I'm going to teach you how to do a very simple, predictable chart of yourself. So now, I want you to refer to the animations below. I want you to draw a H. Close up the top and bottom of the H. So what you have now is actually a Chinese character called zhi. Zhi means day, right? The day. And then draw a V within the top square. I want you now to draw 2 horizontal lines to divide the V shape into 3 rows. And then draw a vertical line as shown touching the middle of the top 3 horizontal lines. Next, I want you to fill up those small circles and squares as shown in the preferred chart. So UCMHP methodology, this is your UCMHP legacy creation chart. Now I want you to share with you that I'm the first person on this planet who can actually integrate the 26 alphabets into this human profiling chart. So I want you to see how I integrate these 26 alphabets from A to Z into this chart. So I want you to see on the top square on the left hand side, there's name this A, and on the right hand side name it B, and in the center of the square below I want you to call it C, so name it A, B, C. Next, I want you to see D and E. Where is the positioning? F and G, H and I, J and K. Then the 4 numbers which is called your destiny numbers, L, M, and O. Can you see this? And then followed by P, Q, R. And then S and T. Followed by U, V. And then W, X, Y, and Z. There you are. All the 26 alphabets are being used here. Now, if you see this chart anywhere, it belongs to a Singaporean, and that's me. I'm the founder of this chart. So this chart is so important to your life. You need to know how to calculate this chart. So I'm going to share with you how to calculate your own personal chart. So I want you to look at the example date of birth of a person born on the 16th of September 1923. And I want you also to refer to the animation of this UCMHP calculation chart. So now, the chart in front of you, so I want you please to write down your own date of birth. So can you see from a chart here, right on top, it's called day, day, month, month, year, 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 year. I like to repeat, day, day, month, month, year, 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 year. So if this sequence is correct, I want you then to fill in the birth date. So I want you to insert the birth date now. The day is 16, month is 09, year divide into 2 portions. So year, the first 2 numbers is 19, the last 2 numbers is 23. So you put this in the right perspective position. I want you now to add in the 2 numbers of the day. So in this case, it's 1/6. So any numbers you add together, it is more than 10, you need to add one more time and it becomes single digit. So in this case, 1/6 is equal to 7, 0.9 equals to 9, 1.9 equals to 1, and 2.3 equals to 5. Okay, back again, right? Back again. So if 1/6 equal to 7, so if this 1/6 is more than 10, example 1.9 equals to 10, 1 plus 0 equals to 1. So you must add until it becomes one digit. So for example, if 1/6 is equal to 2.9, then 2.9 equals to 11, 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So if it's month is equal to September is 9, 0.9. If it's October, 1 plus 0 equals to 1. If it's November, 1 equals to 2. And if it's December, 2 equals to 3. Next, I want you to add in year. So the first part of your year of birth, 1.9 equals to 1. 1.9 equals to 1. And then the year 2.3 is equals to 5. So it is more than 10. So you have to add one more time to become one single digit. Clear? Okay, good. I'm going to the next sector. The next sector, I want you now to add in 7.9. 7.9, day, month, you add together. 7.9 equals to 16. So 1 plus 6 equals to 7. 1.5 equals to 6. I want you now to add up 7 and 6. 7 and 6 is equals to 13. 1 plus 3 equals to 4. Now over here, I want you to put a crisscross or an X. Okay, the sign X. So 6, 4 equals to 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. 7, 4 equals to 11. 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Now next, I want you to add up the two numbers 1 and 2. So 1, 2 equals to 3. I want you to put a crisscross. 2, 3 equals to 5. And 1, 3 equals to 4. Very good. Now I want you to add up these two numbers together, 5, 4. So 5 and 4 together equals to 9. Have you finished this? So all these numbers must add up correctly in a systematic way. You cannot calculate wrongly, because once you calculate wrongly, the position or the location, you know what happened? We are going to analyze a person wrongly, because what we are using here is science. So you need to follow this system, right? Systematically. When you finish this, I want you to see, right? There are 4 small circles appearing, 2 on the left-hand side of the inverted triangle at the base, 2 on the right-hand side. Now, I want you to see 7, 9 equals to 7, 7, 9 equals to 7, 1, 5 equals to 6. I also want you to see that the 4 circles, the numbers are interrelated to the 4 numbers on top, 7, 9, 1, 5. So I want you to see the 4 circles below, 2 on the left and the right. So it must be from left-hand side to right-hand side. So now I want you to add up 7. 7 equals to 14. 1 plus 4 equals to 5. Next, add up 9, 7 equals to 16. 1 plus 6 equals to 7. Can you see that? So once you have finished this, I want you to add up the two numbers 5 and 7. So I want you to add up the sum of it. So 5, 7 equals to 12. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Can you do that? So once you have finished this, I want you to concentrate on the third number on the right-hand side. Now, third number here, remember, is related to 7915. So it's related to 1. So 1, 6 equals to 7. And 5, 6 equals to 11. 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Next, you add up the sum of 7 2 equals to 9. This is what you see now. It's so important for you to know how to calculate. When you have finished this, next thing I want you to do for me is to name ABC. Remember I told you ABC just now? So the first number on the left hand side is called A. On the right hand side is called B. And I want you to see the center of the square below. Remember I told you this is C. A, B, C. Now, I want you to see whether I'm right or wrong or not. Because this is a mathematical science calculations, your A plus B must be equal to C. Why? Because this is Pythagoras theorem, where A squared plus B squared equal to C squared. So I want you to see your A, if it's a 3, B is a 9, then your C must be equal to 12. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. If your A is equal to 3, B is 3, C must be equal to 6. If your A is 9, B is 9, then your C must be equals to 18. 1 plus 8 equal to 9 again. Can you follow? Everybody, your calculation must be right. If your A plus B is not equal to C, then your calculation is totally wrong. Because in this system, because we are using science, it can never go wrong. Now, next, I want you to see among A, B, C, there is a triangle coming out. And this triangle is actually a right-angle triangle. If you draw a line in the center, there are two triangles. There are similar triangles, right? So I want you to see very carefully A, B, C. Right, so A plus B must be equal to C. So where A is equal to your weakness, B is equal to strength, C is equals to the outcome of your life. So you need to know your A plus B must be equal to C. If you understand this, then the next thing I want you to look at is the last number here. Now within the chart, the last number here, what is your number here? So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Everybody say go. What is your number here? So 1, 2, 3, 4. What is your number here? 9, right? How come everybody is a 9? Now, if your number here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you are not a human being. Okay? This number must be of 9 and no other numbers. Now, I want you to bear in mind that there are 7.7 billion people on this planet. 7.7 billion people on this planet. And if you use this calculation, it must be a 9. So a lot of people ask me, how come so magical? Must be 9. Now, it is 9 because this is mathematical science calculations. Everybody must be a 9 here. So this is the proof that this is science. This is not metaphysics. Metaphysics is something that scientists cannot explain 100%. But anything that can explain 100% is called science. Now, if you understand this, there's another numbers that you need to know. And this number here is none other than your universal character number. Now, I want you all to pay attention to this number here, because this number here will follow you throughout your whole life. This number here will follow you wherever you go. This number decides you who you are going to be, what kind of career, what kind of academic pathways, what kind of investment, what kind of business you can go into. So this number here will follow you throughout your whole life, and it's the most important number that you need to recognize and identify, right? So this is also about your 5 communication channels, 5 communication language, how you perceive information, how you respond. So this you need to know. So far so good. If you know this, I'm going to go to the next slides. Now, I want you to see this character number that I just mentioned to you. It helps unlocking your unique universal character codes to achieve success in all areas of your life. Right? All areas of your life, right? It also helps you to uncover or discover your unexplored passion, your untapped skills. It also reveals your sole purpose in life. And one important thing that you need to know is that you also need to know your unique $1 million talents that you're not using. Now you see, every one of us has something called multi-million-dollar talents within us. But because we don't have this system that you know, you miss the chance to do great things. So this is a multi-million-dollar within you that you're not using. Now, it is all hidden inside your hidden potential and talents. So it's hidden inside your hidden potentials and your talents. So with your talents, there's also something called blind spot. So blind spot is for much better life outcome. Now, I want you to pay attention. If you know how to leverage on your hidden potentials and talents, and if you know how to manage your blind spot, do you know something? And there is no more failures in your life because your hidden potential and the blind spot, if you leverage on them, you know what is it about, and then you manage also your universal character, you'll find that you become very, very powerful person, right? So you need to know your universal character number. Understand? If you understand, I'm going to go to the next 4 proofs to prove to you that this is actually science. So with 7.7 billion people in this world, the proofs are always the same because this is Pythagorean's mathematical science calculations. So the first proof I'm going to show to you that the last number, which is the ultimate number of this chart, it must be a 9 and no other numbers. Am I right? And the second proof I'm going to show you is ABC can be only 369 and no other numbers. So it must be 366 or 9 and no other numbers. Why? Because this is science. So the third proof I'm going to share with you is that A plus B must be equal to C. A plus B must be equal to C. Again, you ask me why. I will tell you that this is a Pythagorean's mathematical science calculations. Now, again, I want to highlight the 7.7 billion people. How come this is so? This is science. This is really, really science. And the fourth proof is something we use. We use something called Pythagorean's 1 to 9 chart, where in a square we divide into 9 equal parts, and then we name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 from top to bottom. So I want you to see carefully 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. On the left hand side of the square, what we have is 147. Now 147 equal to 12, that 1 plus 2 equals to 3. And then in the middle, we have 258. You add together equals to 15. 1 plus 5 equal to 6. Next, on the right-hand side, we have 369. You add together equals to 18. And 1 plus 8 is 18. So 1 plus 8 equals to 9. Can you see that? If it's yes, I want you to remember 3 numbers we mentioned earlier, PQR. Can you remember PQR? Now, PQR is the essence of your life. So I want you to look at P. If P is 147, then your A must be equal to 3 and no other numbers. Am I right? Is this awesome? And if your P is 258, then your A must be equal to 6 and no other numbers. And if your P is equals to 369, and then your A have to be 9 and no other numbers. Am I right? You find this very interesting now? Which all these are signs. All these are signs. And the next number here I want you to look at is Q. I want you to look Q. If your Q is 147, then your B must be equal to 3. Your Q is 258, then your B must be equal to 6. If your Q is 369, then your B must be equal to 9 and no other numbers. Am I right? So it's the next alphabet R. The next alphabet R. If it's 147, then your C must be equal to 3. If it's 258, it has to be 6. And if it's 369, your R 369, then the C must be equal to 9. Am I right? Now, having shown you the 4 proofs, there is no doubt that this is actually Pythagorean mathematical science calculations. There is no doubt. There are 7.7 billion people on this planet. Anybody, everybody, if you use this method, the end result will be the same. So I still remember before I was conferred the honorary doctorate, 6 professors interviewed me and they gave me many profiles to calculate. At the end of the day, the 6 professors came together and issued a statement for my honorary doctorate. And this is what they said. They said that UCMHP is based on Pythagorean's mathematical science calculations, statistics, and evidence-based. Evidence-based, my dear friend. So I want you to see carefully. This is not an academic doctorate. This is an honorary doctorate. That actually this methodology can help mankind to better their life. So if you understand that this is science with the 4 proofs, I'm going to move on to the next thing I'm going to teach you. So I'm going to share with you the foundations. So the foundation of UCM, human profiling. So a lot of people ask me what's human profiling. Human profiling is all about human chemistry. Today, everybody is talking about IT, AI. But what is missing is actually human touch. It's not high tech, but it's high touch. So the foundation is based on what? Number 1, it's based on research, a scientific integration and combinations of various personality profiling tools, such as Neuro-Linguistic Programming 16PF, MBTI, DISC, and much more. I'm going to share with you also that the foundation is also based on mathematical science calculations. So what we use here is a 4,000 years old law of Pythagoras. So in school, we all learn a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. When you ask the teacher why, the teacher will tell you like that means like that. And then if it's a right angle triangle, if a equals to 3, b must be equal to 4. C must be equal to 5. Again, if you ask the teacher or the professor why, they will tell you like that means like that. Because technically it was proven. But they cannot explain. Now, do you know that Pythagoras' theorem has been used to construct buildings? All buildings of great height, they have to use Pythagoras' theorem to construct. Otherwise, the government will never allow you to construct all these beautiful buildings. Why? Because according to Pythagoras' theorem, it states, how deep is the foundation? How wide is the foundation? Upon the mass and volume on top, it must be balanced. So if it's not balanced, the building can topple. So remember the principle. A squared plus b squared equal to c squared because the foundation is very, very strong. So if you understand this, you must also understand why we are using these mathematical calculations to do the analysis, because the foundation is very strong. Next, I'm going to share with you that it is based on statistics and evidence-based. No religion, no superstition. Now, because there is no questionnaires or tests to take, so there's no element of self-bias or guesswork. So you don't need to guess. 1 is 1, 2 is 2. 2 cannot be 1, 1 cannot be 2. 1 plus 2 can only be 3 and not 4 or not any other numbers. So the foundation we are using is very, very strong because we are using mathematical science calculation, statistics, and evidence base. Very good. If you understand the foundation, the next thing, I want you to calculate your own legacy creation chart before you join our online seminar.